Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the Always Online Multiplayer Gaming Podcast, brought to you by MMO Bomb, your home for all things multiplayer related. This is episode 435, and of course, we're doing the show live, twitch.tv/MMO Bomb. It is Friday, so 1 p.m. Eastern. Here we are every Friday, here to talk about all the stuff in multiplayer game. Just box, dude, just in time. Yes, you are just in time. Chat gonna be giving us their opinions as we go through. Obviously, big news this week, Summer Game Fest. So if you're watching this on YouTube, come on over to mmobomb.com, pay us a visit, take a look at the giveaways. We put up some new ones this week. We got first looks, one coming some point. I don't know. We'll find out when that's coming from Troy for Leap. Tons of videos, tons of content over there, and that's what pays the bills. So head on over, visit the site, say hi, and rate some of your favorite and not so favorite games, so that other players know what to check out if they're looking for something. Click that subscribe button, follow, comment, all that jazz. In fact, you got to comment. We need your weekly bombs and your question of the week answers in the comments below, both on the site and on YouTube, for 2 full segments of the show. So you're a pretty important part of the show. Make sure you put some info down there. Joining me to go over all of the news, Mr. Troy Blackburn. What's up, Noob Fridge?
New computer, who dis? Brand new computer build, baby. This is the first thing I'm doing on it is the podcast. Well, that's a lie. I streamed a little bit of Guild Wars 2 on my Twitch channel last night. Baron was there with me, chit-chatting a little bit, testing out the new computer, but we're ready to rock and roll with a brand new rig, baby, from the case up.
All right, so you did a little bit of streaming for Guild Wars 2, but I don't count that as like the first game played. You were doing some testing, making sure things were up and running. It wasn't just sitting there. So we all do this, right? When we do a new build, when we get a new PC, what is the first game that gets booted up for just Troy relaxing time playing?
The one that I want to always see the new stuff on, for me, it's Witcher 3. That's the one I usually load up and want to see all the new, crank the graphics on up, turn everything up, and let me just see how pretty everything is and just relax and go kill some monsters. That's usually my game.
That's the game? That's the one?
That's the game.
All right. Also on the line, not with a brand new computer. No, sadly. I don't have one either. Aspen Pash, a.k.a. Rose Hoppa. What's up, Aspen?
Hello. How is everyone today? I hope wonderful.
Yeah. I'm doing all right. I mean, I woke up breathing, so that's like a step in the right direction.
That's good.
You know, it's a step in the right direction. When's the last time you upgraded the PC? When'd you do a new build?
Actually, right before I started streaming. Yeah, I never owned a PC in my life before that, so my first PC I've had for 2 years.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Chat is right. I did a new PC not so long ago, probably about 8 months or so ago. Did a whole new build at the close of 2022-ish, or 2021-ish. To Kyle from chat, I build every 4 years, so it's always different for me. It's whatever's the heaviest game I own at the time. Oh, so okay, so you're one of those put the new rig through its paces before you sit down and enjoy. Obviously, for me, it's probably Final Fantasy 14 in most cases, just to see, what I can ramp up. Although I've been playing on highest settings for a while now, but it's still always like, let's see you just eat those frames, baby. Do it.
Yeah, because Guild Wars 2, like at the end of the day, like I've got a lot of overkill to play something like Guild Wars 2. It's only going to look so good. So you got to go for something that's got a little more graphical power to it.
Yeah, I mean, like I play a lot of DJ Max to just sit and relax and stuff like that, but that's not what I'm booting up first. I'm like, oh, look, the scrolling bars are in more high def. Like okay.
Right.
Fantastic. Well, let's slide over, gang, and get started with the news. Might be a better question of the week than the question of the week I put there. In fact, I'll probably give you both and just let you answer both. Like, what game do you try first when you're not testing, but sit down and relax and play when you get a new build? Anyway, gang, obviously, yesterday kicked off the Summer Game Fest, Jeff Keighley's program, which had no competition with E3 this year because obviously E3 was canceled in both digital and physical formats. They did threaten, though, that they will be back. I mean, they did announce that they will be back next year.
Yeah, how many times we've discussed whether or not they're going to be relevant anymore?
Yeah, I mean, they have to make changes to it. I mean, people do want Aspen like a physical gathering. Like people are yearning for that type of event, but it also has to be a bit meaningful. And a lot of these companies just now they see, hey, we can do our own thing. We don't need a big E3 to do it. So we'll see what changes they make. First off, Aspen, let's start with you. Your overall impression of Summer Game Fest. Obviously, it's still going on. It's going to culminate into the weekend with like the Xbox and Bethesda game show, at least their part 1, because they then announced a part 2 like they did last year a little later. But as far as like maybe let's keep it to the keynote, right? That 2-hour presentation where all the world premieres and everything came up. What grade do you give it? What did you think of the show as a whole?
I give it an underwhelming. I honestly, like a lot of the stuff we already knew about, nothing was really too new. And if it was, I personally didn't care. I do like the sci-fi theme. That was kind of nice. But other than that, underwhelming.
Oh, all right. Let's see if that's a hot take or what we got across the board. Troy, what do you think?
Man, there was a lot of space and a lot of horror and a lot of space horror. A lot of games are going back into space now. I enjoyed it. It was worth watching for me. There were some games I'm interested in. There was some stuff that maybe I caught a glimpse of that maybe I hadn't noticed before that made me maybe pay a little attention to a game, like the Aliens game. I think I might pay a little more attention to that now. But overall, I mean, it wasn't overwhelmingly fantastic, but it was worth watching for me.
Yeah, so I kind of saw, obviously, a huge Aliens guy, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is multiplayer, so I started to dig into it, because there was a scene in the trailer that had a squad of a few people, and I'm like, maybe this is multiplayer. Should we cover it for the site? Let me go do some looking at it. No, it's not multiplayer. But then when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is right up Troy's alley. It is a Diablo-esque tactical squad management going. I was like, oh, Troy's gonna be all over this.
Yeah, when they showed sort of the top down little hint of the gameplay at the end, like I was watching the trailer and I was like, oh, Aliens, that's always cool just to watch the trailer. And then they showed the top down thing. I was like, ooh, maybe I need to start paying attention.
Somebody in chat, who's that, Takal, asking, where did Jeff Keighley come from? Like, I know he does his own show, but he used to work for E3 or something. Jeff's a Canadian journalist, and he actually, in video gaming, he did some stuff before this, but he was probably best known for being like the lead E3 anchor back on G4 TV's coverage of the event. And he just kind of grew from there into more important roles within G4 and then moved out of G4 and into the video game awards that were hosted by Spike TV. And then, so that's kind of where he comes from.
G4, that's the second dead network we've talked about today.
Yeah. I kind of think I got to agree with you, Aspen. That's not to say that there weren't things at the show I liked. Troy, you're absolutely right. Everything went to space. Jason was talking in chat with us while we were all watching the show together to grab coverage and put articles up and stuff like that. And he was like, well, look, here's something else in a dark corridor in space.
Seriously.
And you know what? I was all for it, right? Like, I
wasn't completely mad about it. Like, there was just a lot of it.
Yeah, like, I love horror games in general. The Quarry comes out today. I'm going to be picking that up. Absolutely. Supermassive games. The multiplayer is not available right away. Aspen wrote about that a while ago. But so I will be picking that up. And when the multiplayer is available, we'll try it out on MMO Bomb stream. We'll probably put it on Ready Check Radio stream as single player. That's totally fine for there. But got to stick to multiplayer here. And then, we have the Dead Space remake coming up. The Callisto Protocol just continues to look absolutely awesome. Like, all of that, I was all over. But when I got to the end of the show, I think I was in line with you, Aspen. I don't look at it and go, this was a bad, terrible, terrible, terrible show. But you got to feel bad for a show whose big finale had already been leaked. And they'd had nothing to follow up with.
I thought it was kind of funny, personally, but
They were like, hey, it's the end of the show. Let's talk about something you guys found out about on Twitter earlier today. What was your game of the show, Aspen? Like, if you were underwhelmed, maybe let's call that what, a C? We'll give it a C, a B minus, a C plus, something like right in there. I thought Jeff was a little more bearable than normal. I like Jeff Keighley and what he does for the industry. I think he's a huge advocate for the industry and in a good way. I can't stand him as a host. Like, I think he's just dull and, there's a way to deliver a dad joke and it's cool. He can't do it. I thought he was bearable this time around. There wasn't a lot of byplay that they were trying to force into it and oddball stuff they were trying to force into it. So I give it maybe a C+. Little underwhelming, but had some stuff for me. What was your game of the show, Aspen? What are you looking forward to, multiplayer or not?
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of feels like a double-edged sword saying like I'm excited about it because I'm also kind of mad about the whole thing too, but we'll ignore the negativity behind it. But the Last of Us multiplayer, yeah, pretty excited. I'm so excited that I waited 3 years just for some concept art. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that felt really bad, didn't it?
No, it was really bad because they knew in 2019 like what was happening, and then they just say like, here's some artwork. Like I don't want to talk about it.
No, go ahead. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, but like seriously, I just feel like it was kind of a slap to the face. And then they released The Last of Us Part 1. Honestly, you're not Pokemon. I don't need 3 remakes of the same game. And then you're taking out content for the multiplayer. Like, Fractions was supposed to be in it, but it's not. So I just feel like, who's going to buy this? I'm sure somebody will, but
a lot of people.
It's not me.
A lot of people. Yeah, it does feel kind of bad where they're like, they go into The Last of Us 2, Troy, and then they're like, hey, we're going to hold back on the multiplayer, and then fast forward, we're going to make that a standalone game. And we've been working on it for 3 years. Here's a screenshot. You might be able to tell what city it's in.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just excited to hear Aspen rant about something. Just continue, by all means. Rant away, girl.
It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's pretty spicy.
So, full disclosure, I've never been really all that invested in the Last of Us IP. I don't own we might own the second one at this point because Torchwick has played it, one of my sons. I'm not sure. I can't remember if we own it or not. And the first one we got as part of a bundle of things that I had purchased. And it was like, oh, okay, here's The Last of Us. Fantastic. And I think I played a few hours of it, and then I was like, yeah, this just isn't for me. Like, I liked the gameplay and everything. I just wasn't invested in the storyline. I didn't care. It's kind of like my attitude towards The Walking Dead. I'm like, yeah, you're probably pretty good for a lot of people, but just not for me. So I don't care, but one, why is this getting a remake already? And two, was I the only one that when they were like showing the original and the new versions, I was like, I guess it looks a little better.
Right? Like, it's so new. Is it really that big of an upgrade to get a remake? I guess it's just so they can resell it for an exorbitant amount on the new generation of console would be my guess. Just a money grab.
And coming to PC at a future date. Coming to PC at a future date.
Yep, because $300 million is what they want to make.
Good old Sony. Good old Sony. Troy, game of the show. Which is the most hype for you?
Marvel Midnight Suns.
Really?
Yep, I'm excited about that. XCOM style Marvel game. Midnight Suns grouping is a fun little get together of heroes to fight with. So I'm really looking forward to that. I love Marvel. I love XCOM. I love tactical RPGs. So give it to me, Midnight Suns.
So my game of the show was one that I didn't need to see the show because I've already been following it. We've talked about it on Ready Check Radio's Gaming Gumbo show. Like, Callisto Protocol just continues to look better and better for me. I absolutely cannot wait to get my hands on that. It was nice to see the trailer. I don't think the guy that gets his head bitten off, I don't think he makes it. I'm just going to put that out there now. Like, half his head gets bitten off. I'm pretty sure that's a fatal wound. So that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. But let's get to some multiplayer stuff from the show because there were some goodies there as well. Let's start with Stormgate being revealed. So if you are very much into the RTS real-time strategy sector, this is definitely one I think you should watch. I'm absolutely watching it. Worked on by some serious credentials over at Frost Giant Studios from Blizzard developers who were on Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2. They have a bunch of those vets on the staff. They are focusing on the whole humans versus aliens thing. So, all right, maybe a little tread ground already there, sci-fi, fantasy-esque feeling. They're going to have 1v1 ladders. They're going to have online PvP. They're going to be supporting the E-scene. So it seems like they're running the gamut from casual RTS fan all the way to hardcore esports scene on this. It is going to be free to play as well. So a little bonus there that maybe you didn't expect. For this type of game in this genre. But they have guaranteed, Troy, there will be no pay to win. Because
no pay to win, no NFTs. He specifically said no NFTs, no pay to win, no NFT. We live in an age where now we're having to add more and more disclaimers to what we don't have. No pay to win, no NFTs, and they're picking up
you don't
dropped.
You don't list features in the press release anymore. You list the things that your game doesn't have.
This is the negative stuff that we don't have and we're not going to do. Of course, pay to win can be a loose term for some folks. Some folks exaggerate what is pay to win. Some folks say it's not pay to win when it obviously is. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But it's interesting to see them. They really are trying to pick up the ball that Blizzard dropped and take the RTS genre and put it back on top competitively, and hoping to get some attention like that, since StarCraft has kind of been left to just sort of wither on the vine, as it were.
Yeah, they're already like right off the bat going to have a mission editor built in to the thing so that you can draw your own terrain, modify units. You can publish your maps to other players. I guess we'll have to wait to see if the EULA says we own everything you create, like Blizzard did with Warcraft 3 Reforged when it came out. I would think that they would learn from this mistake. I haven't played an RTS, like a true RTS game, like a StarCraft or something like this, in a while, simply because there are options out there, but none of them have particularly grabbed me. This might grab me a little bit, Aspen.
Yeah, I agree. I've actually never played an RTS either, but the only one that's ever interested me was StarCraft. I've seen so much gameplay of it. I don't know why I never picked it up, but seeing this got me really excited. Again, I don't want to get too excited because then I'm always let down. So maybe if I keep my expectations really low, it's going to be amazing.
Flynn in chat. What's up, Flynn? Just want to play the Stargate RTS. Yeah, we talked about that a number of months ago, too, when it was shown off. And then we haven't seen much of it from there on. So RTS fans getting a little bit of love. Need a new Rise of Nations? That would be good. That would absolutely be good. But remember, no pay to win, because no company's ever said there wouldn't be pay to win in there. Like, they've never said that, ever.
Never.
And they don't typically announce, hey, we will be pay to win.
Yeah. Hey, good news, gang. Our game is going free to play, and if you want to shell out some cash, you could beat it really quickly. Like, you could beat it so fast. You just don't see enough of that. I was talking to the site's owner the other day. I forget what we were talking about, something NFT or pay to earn or play to earn related or something like that. And he said, I hope the industry doesn't fully go this way. And I said, it's not going to he was like, I wonder if free to play stops becoming a thing. And I was like, nah, I don't think it's going to go that far. It is going to continue to permeate for a little while here, but it's not, I don't think it, I treat it as free to play's ugly cousin, which is kind of funny because it's not like free to play is all that good looking in a lot of respects anyway. So maybe it's just an ugly family. Maybe the entire family is just ugly, but maybe this will be good. It's got some vets behind it who know what that audience wants. Now, will they deliver it in a way that doesn't turn anybody off? We'll see.
Well, hell, who are we kidding? Even buy-to-play nowadays comes with all the trappings of free-to-play anyway.
True. Yeah, season passes and microtransactions and cosmetics and all of that stuff. Next up, we've got a game that I have no idea how this is being made. I'm at a loss for how Outriders continues to function. I loved Outriders. Loved it. I loved that it wasn't a live service. Loved it. I was confused at how the path forward, not as a live service, would look, profitability-wise, particularly with Square Enix behind it. So I was a little confused. And then months and months go by, and we find out People Can Fly, the developers, have made no royalties from it. Then they do their end-of-the-year financials, and they still haven't been paid any royalties from it because it hasn't recouped what Square Enix needed it to recoup to start paying royalties to the team. But here comes the World Slayer expansion, Aspen. Get ready. Here it comes.
Oh, no interest whatsoever.
Are you not a looter shooter gal? You don't care?
It's not necessarily that. Just with this game, I just have no interest in it. And the fact that it's already dying, it's like, why even try to like something that might not be here tomorrow?
It is fun. It is fun. Like, there were problems at launch, obviously, and questionable design decisions and stuff, but I enjoy a good looter shooter, and this was good. But it was one that, like, okay, if I play through a looter shooter and my options at that point are you can go do the same stuff but on increasingly more difficult challenge as far as hit points and damage and stuff, just increase the difficulty, I'm probably going to play something else, right? I'm not one of those guys that's like, I got to beat every difficulty level in this single player game. Like, that's just not me. I'm going to go play the Division 2, right? Where Troy and I can jump in and go do some dungeons and stuff like that. I'm not going to single player it up so that I don't know. Am I going to get this? I got Outriders on day one, actually purchased it. I don't know if I'm getting World Slayer on day one. For those of you that are really, really interested, they're doing a endgame broadcast today, 2:45 Eastern, so it'll be after this show, on their Twitch channel, so you can see kind of where their mind is. But I'm just confused, like how I have to feel like, Troy, that a lot of this was in development and almost done, and Square is just saying, finish it off so that we can sell this because we still need to make some money and we've already paid you for the work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is relatively quick after the launch too for an expansion. So, like you said, probably as different parts of the team would finish off their stage of the development, they went ahead and moved on into this expansion. So it was probably heavily already under construction when the game launched, if not nearly finished. So yeah, get it on out there, get it sold, see if we can make some money on it. I don't know, man. I'm interested in watching the stream that you talked about, but I still haven't played the game. The early launch issues I put in my head that I would wait to look at it again, and then just never went back to it.
It is fun, and it is something you can jump in with a couple of buddies in small squads of like 3 and go do some fun stuff. But yeah, I'm almost like, this is one that probably should have been a live service, guys. Probably should have been. I don't know. Wilfredo in chat says, Babylon's Fall, Outriders, what's next? Is Crystal Dynamics going to be sold? Oh, wait. Yeah. Next up, our own Jason Winter, well, I guess previously our own Jason Winter, has been watching and reporting on, and that is Nightingale. What's going on with this one, Troy? What's this all about?
So this is a survival game, and it's got a sort of a Victorian era setting to it, and it looks really gorgeous. The artwork and the art direction of this game is absolutely fantastic, and they announced the card system where you can craft new portals that you can go into different worlds and encounter different enemies and monsters. So you've got an additional way, and you're just not just one world you're exploring. You've got different, I think they call them inner dimensions that you're going to be exploring between. This game looks amazeballs, and I'm absolutely going to be day one playing the crap out of this.
All right, that's a positive start to this. Does Aspen continue the positivity, though?
Yes, honestly, I'm really stoked about this game. The only concern I have, do you guys remember a game when it first called out called No Man's Sky?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like when I was looking at all the different like gates that you can travel to and how every world is so different and all the animals are so different, I'm like, you know what? I was promised a game like this before, and when it came out, it was terrible. And so I'm just super scared that it might be the same.
Yeah, but if you
Because
wait a year and a half after it comes
exactly.
out,
It'll get
I mean,
good.
No Man's Sky is in a real good spot right now.
That's true. Yeah, I just gotta wait a bit. But yeah, like, because I was looking into like the tarot card system, and it looked like by adding different tarot cards, you're creating a world. So buy the tarot card, like based on the animals on that card are gonna be the animals in that world, despite it's not like a pre-made world. I feel like you're creating it with the tarot cards, so you can really make a lot of different combinations. So that, I don't know, it could be hit or miss.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm just not a huge survival guy. But this, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
It's okay. I won't take it personally.
Aspen pulled the Southern Belle out on me. She was like, oh, good heavens.
It's a Victorian game.
I'm getting a bit flustered. I can't believe. Yeah, I'm not. V Rising has absolutely done it for me. I mean, so that has kind of converted me to a little bit of survival. I did take great pleasure in telling Troy that the age of Vikings is over during the summer game show yesterday, and the age of space has begun. So no Vikings. V Rising does it for me. Am I curious about Nightingale? Yeah, but it's probably one, Troy, that I'm going to watch your streams first.
You watch me have all the fun and enjoy exploring these vast universes that I'm sure will be endless, and I'll never see the same thing twice. And there's a great mystery at the end of the interdimensional portals, and I will solve the answer to everything.
Damn. I
don't think they said any of that.
So you're looking forward to it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, all right. It'd be pretty all right.
Queuing up more squad-based action, you Warhammer 40K fans out there, getting Warhammer 40K Darktide, kind of the follow-up to the popular Vermintide. 4-player co-op, available for pre-order right now in 2 different versions. They showed a gameplay trailer that I was kind of like, where's the gameplay? Not to say that it wasn't a beautiful trailer. It was. It absolutely was. But there wasn't a, like, they did Call of Duty gameplay, by the way, and it was like 9 minutes long.
Yeah.
I went and took the dogs out, came back, it was still on. And I was like, yeah, it's Call of Duty. Yeah, all right, great. Everything's washed in brown. Yeah, we got it.
And there's explosions. Here we go. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that before.
And we had reported on this the day before Summer Game Fest when it comes to Call of Duty, but they are doing like a Warzone 2.0-ish that'll come out after Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's launch. Your Warzone stuff that you have now does not roll into Warzone 2.0. How bad does that feel? Like, you think they would have learned from Destiny 2 when all those Destiny 1 players were pissed off that none of their cosmetics rolled. That feels bad. Anyway.
Why would they roll them when they can make you buy them again?
Well, oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, it is Activision we're talking about. It is Activision. I love the 40K franchise. I'm not a huge, like, I've never played the tabletop game or anything like that. I've read a couple of the novels. Like, I'm not well-versed in every aspect of it, but there are things in the 40K universe that I absolutely love. Vermintide I do enjoy. I think that's a great game. So I think I'm going to enjoy Darktide. We'll see, Troy. I mean, it comes out later this year, so we're not all that far from it, September. Is this a pickup for you? You want to be part of my squad?
Yeah, me and my friends play the heck out of Vermintide, and they are a couple of my friends that I played Vermintide with. Like, they have been talking about Darktide in my Discord for months. Like, they are really pumped for it, ready for it. So I'm not, even if I didn't want to play it, I don't know that I'm going to have much of a choice but to pick it up and play it. I would be forced, but I'm definitely interested.
Aspen, want to be part of the squad?
Politely decline.
Oh.
It seems a bit too testosterone-y for me.
Space! It's in space!
Good heavens! Oh my!
Oh my! How dare you, my Warhammer?
Not for you. Not for you.
Yeah, not for me. Not this one.
Ninja Panda's saying that they will be part of the squad as long as it's not too pricey. Well, I can answer that for you, my friend. You can either pre-order the $39.99 package or the $59.99 package, which comes with extra stuffs. Extra stuffs. So $40 if you want the base version. And no, I don't. You don't have to own Vermintide for this one. No. There are additions to Vermintide that you have to own Vermintide for, but this is a new standalone 40K thing, so you're all good.
This is its own deal. The same game, but in space.
In space. In space.
In space.
In space. You'll wait for release. You don't pre-order games anymore out of principle. Yeah, that's kind of me too. There are occasionally ones that I pre-release or pre-order, but official release September 13th for both the PC and the Xbox Series X and S. I would assume, Troy, that this will find its way onto Game Pass at some point. Probably not day one, though.
Yeah, probably not day one, but this does have Game Pass written all over it. Something you can co-op and play with your friends. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, give you this and then have you buy the DLC. So we'll probably see it circle around to Game Pass once there's a DLC or two.
Yeah, if you haven't looked at any of the Vermintide games, they always come with tons of DLC. There's plenty of DLC to be picked up as time rolls on.
And Rose is having none of the Space Marines.
I'm good.
She's checked out.
Space Marines.
Space Marine.
She's like, you go play your 40K, boys. I'm going to go play Nightingale. Be still my steampunk heart. All right, so Summer Game Fest, there you go. I know there were a couple other smaller multiplayer things, and then there were some things from the OTK show. Not a whole lot on the multiplayer front there. Most of the multiplayer in the OTK show was things that were already released and have been out for a while. We did cover a couple of them over on mmobomb.com, including Destiny's, what's it called? Destiny's Divide, which is an upcoming CCG that you could go play a demo of right now, and as long as you play one game, you'll get some extra perks in it. That promotion is over. I believe it was only 24 hours from the time of OTK's airing. I did play it. It is very, very much Hearthstone, with the exception of like one or two different mechanics. Like there's a shared board that when you build your deck, you select 3 cards that are going to go to the shared board, and at the beginning of the game, I cancel one of Troy's, he cancels one of mine, and now the shared board has 4 cards in it, 2 from me and 2 from Troy, that anybody can use at any time as long as they're able to cast them. And then you have like a hero or a god sidekick card that is... So there's a little bit of more to think about when you're building a deck, but seems to play very, very much like Hearthstone. So you can look forward to that. The demo is up, but I believe the freebie thing was only 24 hours from OTK. So we've got OTK coverage over on MMO Bomb for the few things that were there as well. Moving along, let's get into some news that we can just basically call apparently, because every single one of these stories could literally start with the word apparently. Let's start with this one, Aspen. Apparently, misinformation on the microtransactions in Diablo Immortal are the cause of the poor ratings. Not the microtransactions in Diablo Immortal. Misinformation on
exactly.
So what is the deal here? Who is claiming this? What the hell is going on? Because apparently it's the misinformation, not the actual microtransactions.
Yes, exactly. It's definitely just the, misinformation. Nothing else. No. So yeah, the Wyatt Chang came out and he was basically addressing on Twitter about somebody questioning, hey, I thought this game was going to be not so based with spending money. Are gems not gear, and like a bit of miscommunication, misinformation.
It should be noted that Wyatt Cheng is the director of Diablo Immortal. This isn't like some community-facing person. This is the director.
Right. So yeah, the director is hopping in. He's verified everything. He's coming in and he's trying to correct the situation and explain that, no, that's wrong information. The gems aren't gear, so technically it's what he said earlier, it wasn't a lie. And he was trying to explain. He was trying to explain how these gems are different. So spending money on gems is not spending money on gear. But the fact of the matter is, you do have to spend money if you want to compete with the PvP and to fully level up your character. Like maybe if you're just playing like the base game, you're going to be fine.
Right.
But that only lasts you so long, and once you're out, you do need to spend money. And they said like what, to fully level up your character, you need like over 100K. Like, because I just had that lying around for a game.
Yeah, just let me shell out a cue.
Yeah.
There was a YouTube video. You guys have probably seen it or saw headlines about it saying it would cost $110,000 or more to fully gear up and everything. So after Cheng came out and said this, it should be noted that the creator of that video did go to Reddit and say, "Hey, my calculation might be a little wrong, Troy." Because my calculations were based on beta. There were some changes from beta to launch. And so with those changes, my 110K is probably more in the 50 to 80,000 area. Not 110. So you only have to mortgage the house once, not twice.
That changes everything.
I know, right?
Do you think they paid him to say that? Like a part of me is like, they definitely reached out. Like, can you change this? Is that okay?
They're like,
we'll give you money.
$50,000.
We'll give you the 80K to level up your character if you change it.
Right. And so Cheng did take offense to all this. I don't like it if information is misleading. There's a difference between players liking or not liking a game based on its merits, which I can accept. Not every game is for everybody. Versus liking or not liking a game based on misinformation surrounding it, Troy. I feel like this is one you just stay out of as the director. Like, you just swallow it and you don't say anything on Twitter.
You have put out a mobile game and you've ported it to PC. You know what the microtransactions are in that game. You know what they're intended to be. You know that they're way more than what PC gamers would typically put up with. So yeah, I believe that you probably should just kept your mouth shut and moved on with your life. Because even if it's not $110,000, even if it is $50,000, what freaking difference does that make? Because I can't afford it.
RS Jabber, oh my god. RS Jabber, best line ever in chat. Oh, don't you guys have loans?
Like, that is good. That's classic. That is classic.
Oh my god, that's amazing, RS Jabber.
This company is so out of touch.
I don't know if that's yours or somebody else's. If it's
base.
yours, congrats, RS. That's a great line. Don't you guys have loans? Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a company that didn't launch the game in Belgium and the Netherlands, by the way, because of their loot box laws. And they did not say anything about that until like the day before launch day, that it wasn't going to be there. And then when they publicly did say something about it, they said, these are not important to gameplay, but apparently they were important enough that they needed to stay in the game then. Otherwise, if they weren't important, you just take them out and you gain 2 more countries of players. But set that aside. Then they also said it's because of your gambling laws. It's like pointing at your countries to blame, not us. We could have taken these things out that we want you to believe we believe are totally unimportant and not important to the gameplay at all, but they were important enough to leave them in there. It's your country's fault. It's your country's fault.
At the end of the day, the microtransactions may be the reason that the rating is like a 0.6 or whatever it's down to now. But at the end of the day, it's a shitty mobile port. And it wasn't. What did you think it was going to be? Did you think it was going to be 10 out of 10? Did you think people were going to be bowing down to the masters of Blizzard over this fantastic game that you've created? Is that what you expected this to be? Like, because there are people out there treating it like it's Diablo 4. But most of the people with a freaking brain in their heads aren't doing that and recognize it for what it is, which is a mobile port. If you enjoy it, that's fine, but it's still just a mobile port. It's not the next coming of Diablo.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this. Right now, the Metacritic score for users is at a 0.3. A 0.3 as of
That's
this
half
recording.
of what it was the last time I saw it.
RS Jabber saying they saw that line somewhere. So if we find credit, we'll give credit. It's a great line.
Kudos to your honesty.
I will say this, Troy. I did play it on PC, the PC version, and I thought it was all right. Like, as far as gameplay goes, right? Like, if you're looking for something to scratch the Diablo itch, but then also, be able to take it with you on the go, I've seen far worse. The gameplay's not bad. I enjoyed messing around with my wizard's abilities because you don't have like skills and custom building and some of those deeper systems that you do in a full-blown Diablo game. Where you're like putting skill points in places, but you do have a little bit of making your character your own in what abilities you want to use, because you only have so many slots. So there's a little customization, not as much as maybe you'd want, but it is a Diablo light. And so I actually found myself okay with the game itself, the game proper. I hated that every time I finished a main big portion of the story, they would say, here's the limited time only, one time only chest, 99 cents, Stop that. But the gameplay itself is ruined by this other stuff. The gameplay is actually pretty good. I will say, though, that if you're sitting there playing Diablo Immortal on PC, it's really hard not to just boot up Diablo 3. It's really hard not to just be like, I'm going to go play Diablo 3, Aspen. Because it's just better. But it's also supposed to be. Like, Immortal is supposed to be the mobile experience. They just broke down and put it on PC to get the additional business and because people bitched.
Let me ask your opinion on this, because this is something I've seen out there, just of all the craziness surrounding this on both sides. I've heard people say that in places, Immortal looks better than Diablo 3. Fair, not fair?
On my rig, no. I can maybe see some more mid-tier rigs, a couple things looking better here and there. But no.
But maybe a touch of copium in that statement.
Maybe. Aspen, did you try it out at all?
I did not.
She sounds like so downtrodden.
I really like Diablo 3, like, a lot. And then when I saw this, I was like, I'm not even gonna pick it up because I don't want to like it, and I'm sure I will. So I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, it's a game it's one of those games, and we've seen them in free to play for years, that is absolutely ruined by its own shop. That's what happens. Like, there is nothing egregious about the gameplay that makes me go, this is just bad. There's enjoyable stuff in there. There's difficulty spikes and challenges and stuff that you can do. The problem is the cash shop that eventually those difficulty spikes catch up to and kind of force you into there. It's sad. It's sad to see. Hey, apparently, gang, if you're a fan of a game and you go ahead and create a crypto token utilizing names and art involved with that game, you're probably going to get sued. Apparently. Apparently. So what happened? A fan-created Fortnite token that actually was created last year and kind of stayed under the radar finally caught the attention of Tim Sweeney, Epic Games CEO, and he just had a blast on Twitter. So it's called the Fortnite token, and the users behind it say that, hey, they're using this stuff because they're fans. It's a fan-generated currency. Yeah. Yep. Tim Sweeney says, hey, you're using the Fortnite name and images to market an unrelated product, and he also called it a scam and said that Epic's lawyers are on it. Troy, this doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for the old Fortnite token.
And the proprietors of said token were pretty adamant too. This is not a scam. We're just fans of the game. If you're taking a name, artwork, likenesses, trademarks, copyrights, and you think because you say the word fair use out loud that makes it so that you can use it, the odds of what you're doing is being a scam, I consider them pretty darn high. And I'm going to go with Epic on this one and say, yeah, probably a scam. And yes, you should be sued into oblivion. You do not own any of that. And that is not what fair use means, even remotely.
Here's where the challenge comes into it, Aspen. I want your take on this. You know, Tim Sweeney and the Epic Games lawyers, obviously, I mean, those lawyers are super busy. Super busy all the time. You know, they just, poking the bear at Apple and all this other stuff, right? They've got stuff to do. There was kind of an ingenious response, I thought, by the Fortnite token people that were like, who are you going to sue? There's no specific owner. There's no company structure. There's no CEO deciding its future. To which Sweeney did reply. He said, that's not how trademarks and copyrights work, though. But, like, who do you sue if there is no centralized startup person or entity behind the token?
Well, I would say, obviously, there's money going into it, right? And then there's an account.
Yeah.
So whoever owns that account, that's what I would think.
Well, here's the trick question answer. If there's no one person running it to sue, they're going to sue everybody involved in it. Whether you've put money into it, whether you've gotten money out of it, you're going to get sued. So you better hope that there's somebody pulling all the strings.
Yeah, it's just like, I just imagine somebody like, anybody want to buy a Twitter account? Anybody want to buy a Twitter account? I don't want to own this one anymore. Somebody want to buy a Twitter account? Hey, apparently, gang, when Fallout 76 was being developed, there was a lot of behind the scenes shit. Aspen, what the hell? I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Crunch, abuse, gaslighting. This is my stunned face that maybe things weren't all copacetic behind the scenes of Fallout 76, as Kotaku alleges in a recent report.
Honestly, at this point, that should just be like Activision Blizzard's like slogan, like abuse. Come on in, we got you covered. But
well, I mean, this one would be Bethesda ZeniMax, though.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just getting ready to roast.
Hey, I mean, you roast ActiveBliz all you want. Roast them all you want. But this is just add another one union to the list.
You're not wrong.
Too many poor quality assurance workers being abused. The list is just getting longer by the day. But yeah, so obviously Fallout 76 was okay. We're gonna be nice.
She's like, I've already ranted once.
I know. It was something different. All right, it was something different, which it was because there's no NPCs in the story, and yeah, so
didn't work.
Anyways, yeah, QA workers working really hard on this game that nobody believed in. Obviously, when you're working on a game, especially doing quality assurance, you have to play the game over and over all the time. You want to be working on something that you believe in, and you want to work for a company that you're proud of. But that wasn't the case for these quality assurance workers. Instead, they were constantly like gaslit, manipulated, pushed into overtime to the point where, they're sitting in their cars thinking like, wow, my chest doesn't feel heavy today. Maybe it's going to be a good day. Wow, today's the first day I didn't cry in the shower. Like, that shouldn't be your workplace environment. That's obvious. Just hearing the conditions that they were working in, it's sad. It's really similar to like Japanese working culture, which is terrible. Just coming in on the weekends, doing mandated overtime. The fact that it just went, this game came out when? How many years ago?
I don't know.
It came out a while ago, but the fact that all of this
November
is coming
14th,
out now,
2018.
Okay, so yeah, 4 years ago. So the game came out a while ago, and all of this stuff is just coming out now. So like, how long did it take, and how long did they have to suffer under this? And again, a lot of them were scared about even leaving the company because they thought maybe I can't get a job after this just because of ZeniMax, like ZeniMedia. Yeah, ZeniMax Media, just like the power that they hold. And that's scary too, to feel like trapped into a job that you hate, but scared that you can't get a new job.
And how many times do we see this nowadays where there's all this bad behind the scenes stuff going on, and then the end product just honestly reflects all the BS that was happening.
Yeah, so
exactly.
The game was garbage at launch. It still remains not a great game at this point. It's never been nearly as popular as it could have been if it had been released in a quality state. and it just shows that no one working on it was happy, and the end product just shows that like there was no love, there was no care put into that, and it wasn't just another quirky, buggy Bethesda game. This was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's very rare that I edit one of my writer's works, right? Well, I mean, add to or subtract from. Editing for typos, of course, I do that. But so Aspen wrote up a great piece over on mmobomb.com summarizing like the high points for you, walking you through it, linking to Kotaku's original reporting if you want to see that as well. I added one, and I don't know if Aspen even noticed, I added one sentence to like almost the end of her piece. And all I added was, let's not forget that Fallout 76 sucked at launch. And apparently, employees felt the same way. Because they did. But Troy, they got paid for that overtime. And they got free pizza occasionally.
Pizza.
Like, that makes up for all of it, right?
No, that's not. You're taking away their free time with their families, and they're probably, I mean, what were they working, 10-hour days, 6 days a week? So like 60 hours a week. So even if they weren't working the weekends with the free pizza, they were still working like 10 hours a day through the week at least. And then what it sounds like is pretty much every weekend would come around. They're like, oh, I'm finally going to get some. Oh, nope. Coming into work. Can't wait for that free pizza.
Gang, it's not uncommon. You're just finding out about it now because more and more people are now speaking out about it. That's why you're seeing Raven Software unionized. That's why you're seeing a QA team in Canada that does work for BioWare unionized. That's why today Activision Blizzard put out a press release, oh so generous of them, that they have finally consented to recognizing the video game union created and that they will begin negotiations with them. Do you know why? Because they have to.
Exactly.
Your options are either don't use this company anymore or negotiate with them. One or the other. And not using this company anymore would look real bad right now. Particularly, they may have an existing contract that says they have to work with them. And so let's negotiate to see if we can come to terms for another.
Let's be honest. How would you have really been that surprised that they've been like, no, we're just not going to use y'all anymore?
Well, I mean, there are considerations with whatever the current contract for their contract, because there would have been contracts for their current work, union or not, since they were a third party being contracted to do this work. So how generous of them, they're going to negotiate with the union and see what happens. Gang, we're going to see more and more of it. We're just going to continue to see more and more of it. It was Riot. It was Activision Blizzard. It was Ubisoft. It was now ZeniMax. It's just going to keep going. A huge untouchable over at Microsoft just bounced because there are allegations of not just stuff like this, but also watching VR porn at work. Because why not? You know, if you're going to watch porn at work, let's cover your eyes with something so you don't even know if somebody walked into your office. This seems like the smartest way to do things, right? I read it and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, that is the worst way to watch porn at work. That is the worst way to watch porn at work.
It's the future, Mike. You should be VR porning at work.
Just like, I'm not. If you're gonna watch porn at work, like, at least I can see the office door. Like, I know when somebody walks in. Let's not strap VR goggles on. Come on. Could you imagine the person that walks in? Like, what do you do, Troy? You're just some dude laying there. I don't know. Don't answer that, Troy. Don't answer that, Troy. Apparently, gang, Final Fantasy XIV could have had a Blue Mage Battle Royale mode. When they were spitballing PvP on how to fix it and eventually landed on Crystalline Conflict, other ideas were tossed around, including a Battle Royale mode for Blue Mages only. I said this on the Relic Grind on Thursday. If they add a Battle Royale mode to my Final Fantasy XIV, I'm going to start catching or setting couches on fire on the sidewalk.
But everything needs a Battle Royale to be a complete game, Mike.
Right? Got to appeal to everybody. Tori Chicken, please never watch porn at work ever. Yep, yeah, please don't. But if you're going to, don't use VR goggles. You guys want a battle royale in Final Fantasy, let alone a blue mage only one? That's the limited class, remember?
No, everything doesn't need a battle royale. I'm glad luckily they skipped that idea and moved on to something else.
Yeah,
Not even my game, and
I can't say
they don't have the battle royale.
Yeah, Justin in chat is right. I can't say that the idea is crazy and stupid. Like, a battle royale does kind of make sense, Aspen, in the way Blue Mage works, because they kind of would get random abilities from the fight, kind of like the way you get random items in a battle royale. So I can't say, oh my god, that's just the dumbest thing ever. Like, it does kind of stupidly make a little bit of sense, but I'm really glad that they didn't do it. At least yet. Aspen, you want a Blue Mage battle royale?
Like mind like an event, so you could like choose if you want to do it, and then it's like gone. You don't have to be too annoyed about it if you don't like it, but you can enjoy it if you do like it.
So it's there and gone.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, man, don't be the voice of reason. Don't be the voice of reason on this one.
I'm just kidding. It's a terrible idea. Get out of here.
Be still my heart. Get your BR out of my XIV. Apparently, Amazon Games will be publishing the next title from Disruptive Games. That is some new multiplayer project. We don't know a ton about it yet, besides its multiplayer action-adventure. Now, I saw some reporting on other sites that really was worded poorly. Disruptive Games, you might know them for working on Diablo 2 Resurrected and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. That is, they weren't the developers. They worked with Blizzard on Diablo 2. They worked with Vicarious Visions, who now is part of Blizzard, on Tony Hawk 1 and 2, but they weren't like the primary developers. But they assisted with that. They're working on their own multiplayer game, and apparently Amazon is going to go ahead and be the publisher. And honestly, Troy, I feel like this is the exact way Amazon needs to go if they're going to stay in the game business at all, is just continue to play the publisher role.
I think publishing is going to end up being their wheelhouse when it's all said and done, and they'll pick up little studio projects like this here and there and kind of get their name out there for the publishing side, and probably about done developing games. Other than the New World, they're still road mapping that out, so apparently they're still all aboard New World, but we'll see how long that lasts if things don't change.
All right, let's slide over, gang, and do the weekly bombs. Aspen, you're up first.
Okay. My A-bomb.
Okay.
My A-bomb is that my beautiful Honkai Star Rail doesn't have a release date yet.
No.
I thought they were going to do it during Game Fest. Like, I really, truly did. Like, they're having another beta. I thought we were going in that direction. And they're like, here's another waifu trailer. That's it.
That was it. No dates.
That was it.
No dates.
No dates.
They just showed off a trailer, and then they did Triple Z. Zenless Zone Zero.
ZZ.
Troy, what do you got?
To getting to build a new computer and having a new computer and being blessed enough to be able to make that happen. Enjoy it immensely.
I'm going to give a couple here. I'm going to give an A-bomb to Critica Global's relaunch. This game was closed twice here in the West. It is now opening up full pay-to-earn, including $50 for a character slot, and you get one when you start up the game. So 50. I mean, kindly, they were justifying it by saying, it's play to earn. So if you have a bunch of characters, you can unnecessarily farm stuff. So we want to make it costly. It's all BS. It's absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage. Don't fall for any of that stuff. Good sweet mother. That's just awful. I'm going to give a dub bomb to getting to play High Isle today. I haven't had a chance. Like, I'm all updated and everything in Elder Scrolls. That's what we're going to stream after the show today. So I'm going to give a dub bomb to finally getting to jump into High Isle today. And I'm going to give a dub bomb to Goat Simulator 3. which may have been trailer of the show at Summer Game Fest. It was amazing. Don't try to tell me it wasn't amazing, Aspen. I see you laughing. Don't try to tell me it wasn't
Good.
an amazing.
It was good. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Rant, come on, Aspen, rant again.
Yeah.
Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator.
Why is it not in space?
Right?
But really?
In chat, Takal says, A-bomb to Jack Del Rio, and his I award you no points worthy comments. Yeah, that was cringy. Tori the Chicken, dub-bomb to storing raw data from experiments. A-bomb to Excel. I lost 2 weeks worth of work and somehow managed to recreate it. I hate when that happens. Ninja Panda says, bomb for plumber coming out earlier than what they said for the second water leak that was under the sink, and also an A-bomb because the whole cabinet needs to be replaced. That sucks. Been there. That's definitely A-bomb worthy. Old Glory says, bomb to the OTK Game Expo for the first time. It was okay. Far from perfect. I'd like a few improvements, like shorter event itself, but it was nice to see something different. Flynn, bomb to the show for being awesome. That was very kind of you, my friend. Thank you so much. Speaking of Flynn, we've got another one here from YouTube from Within Crisis, which is Flynn's podcast. Go check it out. Go feel free, Flynn, to link the Twitch and the YouTube in chat there for everybody. I was lucky enough to guest host on the inaugural episode of that podcast, so definitely go watch it. Within Crisis says, you do have FF14 cross Dungeons & Dragons homebrew stuff for straightforward D&D. Been running a campaign with some friends. Has been a blast. I finally did do the research. Absolutely doing it. Go ahead, Troy.
RS Jabber A-bomb to people defending pay to win and moving the goalpost all the time. Following their logic, if I sell you a cash shop gun for $10 that can one-shot other players, it's still not pay to win because technically you need to know how to aim and press the mouse button, right? Right? And I just want to say that's one of the most on-point comments.
Sounds legit.
We've had for a while.
Sounds legit.
Not that the other ones are illegitimate, but I mean, this is just like on point. People are moving the goalposts constantly, and that's how companies keep getting away with this because the goalposts keep getting moved.
Go ahead, Aspen.
Misfit Rain, da bomb to RS Jabber superhero game. I liked it. Kind of sounds like WoW though. Maybe a new WoW expansion when they want to clean the slate and start over. World of Warcraft, Hero Annihilation. Round up your friends and go hunt down Thrall and Jaina Proudmoore. Blizz owes me money if they do this. Just saying.
I like the inflection you put on that one. Like
of course, I had to.
Like you were doing the commercial. It was like World of Warcraft.
That's what I was going for.
Hero Annihilation. Like
trying to get a job.
Yeah, it was very, very much there. Windshark in chat says, "Da-bomb to Dragon's Dogma. Great game. It's a 10-year-old game, but its monster combat, even to this day, is innovative." And Jira says, A-bomb to Diablo Immortal, disgusting monetization. While being so lazy, they left the face recognition libraries in the NA client. Yeah, I talked about that on last week's stream and show that those files are still in there from the Chinese client requirements. But the face recognition files are still in the global clients. Question week last week, what is we periodically ask this one, what is the best MMORPG of all time and why? Old Glory chiming in on this one. It's Lineage 2, Chronicle 4 till High 5. After that game became more and more more laggy, and devs started to make the game into what we have now. Pay to win, free-to-play pile of crap with in-game bots they call macros. Funny how developers and publishers change their rules and values in front of money. Bots were a bannable offense, and a long time ago it was a subscription game. It's sad in a way what they did to my boy. And most popular private server versions are exactly what I mentioned. Chronicle 4 until High 5. Go ahead, Troy.
Risk. Oh man, that's my first love and just recently went back. Final Fantasy 11. But not the current one. I'd say Golden Age Final Fantasy 11. Treasures of, how do you pronounce that?
At-Urgan
era, where you needed the community to do stuff, where you needed friends. When you finally got your optical hat was a bliss moment. My friends that used to play Final Fantasy 11, they tell me all the time stories about waiting in town, waiting for a group, having to wait and get groups to do stuff like that, and how at the time it was a blast.
Them's were the days, and Thoberisk is exactly right. That's my golden era of it too. Like Rise of the Zilart was good. Chains of Permathia was good. Then you get to, and I'm not necessarily in order, Treasures of Adargon. And then Wings of the Goddess, they start moving in a different direction. Not necessarily a bad one for what the game had to do at the time. But that is, like, if I play WoW, it is the Lich King era, my favorite era. Adargon is definitely my favorite Final Fantasy XI era. Go ahead, Aspen.
Jabber, question of the week. Final Fantasy XIV because of the job system. I like playing many different archetypes. One day it might be a melee bruiser, and another time it's spellcaster. I can swap as much as I want. No need to roll a brand new character. Shout out to my fellow altoholics.
Are you guys altoholics? I'm not. I'm like a one character guy in most games.
Same.
Depends on the game. I can be an alcoholic.
I'm very monogamous with my MMORPG characters. We've got agreements. Takal says 2399 says obvious answer is 14. According to the Mike Gundy method of dating things, I've been a man for a few years now. As such, I was around to put my hands on EQ, Dark Age of Camelot, Final Fantasy XI, and the like back when they were big things. I hated all of them. Having to shout looking for group for hours to get anything done, having to worry about player killers all the time, it was a huge pain in the ass. Final Fantasy XIV was the first game I played where everything was streamlined to perfection. No need to look for group, as there was the duty finder. The PvP is a complete separate thing that you have to actively look for. While it wasn't the first to do it, 14 was the MMO that got me hooked on a streamlined process. Going forward, I couldn't play anything designed with an older mindset. There's a, you see that all the time, right? Everybody doing Kickstarters, it's Ultima inspired and EverQuest inspired, and we just see them, most of them kind of fizzle out. There is an audience, but you have to accept that audience is a microcosm of what it once was, Troy, of what it once was.
Very,
I
very
can't,
true. We went so
I
many
can't go
games,
back.
like you said. Yeah, I can't go back either. It's really hard to, like, even classic WoW doesn't really hold like any kind of attention getter for me at all. I've got no interest in anything like that. I like the new modern way that MMOs do things.
Finish them off, Troy.
Misfit Rain. Of course, WoW is one of the best. So many fun raids or arena games that stand out to make this one of my top MMOs. But I have to put Dark Age of Camelot as number one. Had so much fun in that game. I ran 2 accounts, always for a buffer and a healer for when I went PvPing or scroll hunting. So many friend and best guild ever. Miss having an MMO that locks me in. Where are they? Where are they?
Indeed. Our question of the week this week, like I said, I'm going to give you 2. So the real question of the week is, what company or game won the Summer Game Fest for you and why? Was it a specific game? Was it a company? Let us know. And I'm not just talking about the marquee presentation. You can go ahead and pick anything from the actual Summer Game Fest, since it continues running with different events throughout the weekend. But also, if you just don't care about Summer Game Fest, or if you just want to answer both, that's fine. You can throw in what game is the first one you boot up for chilling and relaxing and playing a game on your own time when you get a new rig. Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget your weekly bombs while you're there. A dub bomb for something good, a bomb for something bad in the world of gaming, or just life in general. We'll, of course, be back next Friday with another episode of Always Online. Until then, Aspen, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Rosehappa, ROSEHAPPA.
Mr. Noob Fridge.
On Twitter at Noob Fridge, and probably, since I got a brand new rig, streaming a little bit tonight. I don't know what yet. Maybe The Witcher. Who knows?
Careful with that screwdriver. I don't want you to bleed on stream. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there, magicman1, but more importantly, follow at MMOBomb so you'll know every time we go live, all the articles we post, first look videos, giveaways, and so much more. Until next time, gang, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.